Think you know New York? Beyond the skyscrapers and subway rats lies a state filled with underground cow tunnels, legal loopholes for adultery, and silverware cults. Here are 50 absurd, little-known, and amazing verified facts about the Empire State that prove reality is often stranger than fiction. Number 50. Illegal affairs. Since 1907, cheating on your spouse in New York has technically been a crime punishable by 90 days in jail, while police aren't exactly raiding motels to enforce it. This Victorian relic remained on the books until very recently, making New York one of the few places where a bad breakup could theoretically end with a misdemeanor record. Number 49. The Brooklyn Mistake. In 1894, Brooklyn voted to join New York City by a razor-thin margin of just 277 votes out of nearly 130,000 cast. If fewer than 300 people had stayed home or changed their minds, Brooklyn would likely be the fourth largest independent city in America today, and New York City would be significantly smaller. Number 48. The Electric Chair Disaster. The first electric chair execution happened at Auburn Prison in 1890, and it was a disaster. The initial jolt failed to kill William Kemmler, requiring a second 2-minute blast that caused blood vessels to burst. Witness George Westinghouse, whose rival technology was used, grimly noted they would have done better with an axe. Number 47. Secret cow tunnels. In the late 1800s, to keep cattle from clogging up traffic, the city built underground tunnels to herd cows from docks to slaughterhouses. Long dismissed as an urban legend, city officials confirmed in 2004 that at least 2 of these subterranean bovine passageways still exist beneath 34th and 38th Streets. Number 46. Paved with shells. Manhattan was once the oyster capital of the world, with beds so abundant that shells were used to pave Pearl Street and line Trinity Church. Street carts sold all-you-can-eat oysters for 6 cents until 1927, when overfishing and pollution finally turned the harbor's greatest delicacy into a toxic health hazard. Number 45. The Tunnel Tragedy. The construction of the Hudson River Tunnel in 1880 was a nightmare that killed 20 workers, a quarter of the workforce, when a blowout flooded the chamber. Superintendent Peter Woodland heroically saved 8 men by forcing them into an airlock before the water drowned him and the remaining 19 workers. Number 44. The Adirondack Giant. Upstate's Adirondack Park is a juggernaut of wilderness. At 6.1 million acres, it is larger than Yellowstone, Yosemite, Grand Canyon, Glacier, and Great Smoky Mountains National Parks combined. It contains 46 high peaks and is the largest publicly protected area in the contiguous United States, effectively swallowing the state of Vermont in size. Number 43. Speed building. The Empire State Building was built with terrifying speed in just 410 days, finishing ahead of schedule and under budget during the Great Depression. At peak efficiency, workers constructed 4.5 floors per week. The 365,000-ton steel frame was topped out just 23 weeks after they started. Number 42. The Gold Stash. 80 feet below Manhattan streets sits the Federal Reserve's Gold Vault, holding over 6,000 tons of gold bars worth over $500 billion at current gold prices. It's the world's largest known monetary gold stash, but here's the kicker. 98% of it belongs to foreign nations. The US government owns only about 5% of the inventory. Number 41. Pizza Patient Zero. America's pizza obsession started in Manhattan's Little Italy in 1905. Gennaro Lombardi opened the first licensed pizzeria in the country, bringing the trade from Naples. Lombardi's is still operating today, meaning you can technically grab a slice of edible history, though the line is probably longer now than in 1905. Number 40. Menu Origin Story. If you enjoy brunch or late-night takeout, thank New York. The city is the birthplace of Eggs Benedict, red velvet cake, and chicken and waffles. Even General Tso's chicken got its start here before conquering suburban malls nationwide. It is also the home of the hot dog, proving that New York's culinary legacy is equal parts fine dining and mystery meat. Number 39. The First Scoop. Long before Ben and Jerry, a British confectioner named Philip Lindsay, opened America's first ice cream shop in New York in 1774. Located on what is now Pearl Street, he advertised that he had ice cream available almost every day. Apparently, reliable freezer technology was the only thing missing from the Founding Fathers' diet plan. Number 38. The Two-Way River. The Hudson is widely called a river, but for the bottom 150 miles, it is technically a tidal estuary, a fjord. Because it connects directly to the ocean, the water level rises and falls with the tide, and the current actually switches direction. Indigenous people called it the river that flows two ways, which is poetically accurate for a saltwater channel. Number 37. A state of water. While often associated with concrete jungles, New York State is chemically mostly water. The state holds over 8,000 lakes, 9 major rivers, and possesses extensive coastline on both the Atlantic Ocean and 2 Great Lakes, Erie and Ontario. It has more shoreline than you'd expect, creating a weird mix of surf culture and freshwater fishing across one state. Number 36. Glacial claw marks. The Finger Lakes look like claw marks scratched into the map, because that is exactly what they are. Massive glaciers gouged these 11 narrow trenches into the land during the last ice age. When the ice retreated, it left debris plugs at the ends, trapping the water. Today, they are incredibly deep, cold, and perfect for growing Riesling grapes. Number 35. Voting before it was cool. New York granted women the right to vote in 1917, a full 3 years before the 19th Amendment took effect nationally. This wasn't an overnight win. It happened 69 years after the Seneca Falls Convention in upstate New York launched the movement. The state essentially served as the testing ground for American democracy's biggest expansion. Number 34. The Attica Tragedy. The 1971 Attica Prison Revolt remains the bloodiest prison insurrection in U.S. history. Prisoners in the upstate facility took staff hostage to demand basic living conditions. The 4-day standoff ended in a chaotic state police raid that left 43 people dead. It stands as a grim, violent milestone in the history of American civil rights and incarceration. Number 33. The Ball Drop Blackout. The Times Square ball drop began in 1907, engineered by an immigrant metalworker named Jacob Starr using iron and wood. The tradition has run every year since, with one dark exception: 1942 and 1943. Due to World War II, dim-out restrictions to protect against air raids, the city skipped the lights and celebrated with a moment of silence instead. Number 32. The Mega District. The New York City public school system is a logistical behemoth. With over 1 million students, it is the largest district in the nation. The high school population alone is nearly double the size of Los Angeles' entire district, and there are more English language learners here than the total student populations of Chicago and Houston combined. Number 31. The Carb Monster. In 2004, Broger's Bagels in Troy, New York decided to break a record and bake the world's largest bagel. The resulting carb monstrosity weighed 868 pounds and was displayed at the State Fair. It is a proud achievement, though they presumably needed a swimming pool full of cream cheese to serve it properly. Number 30. The Giant Cannoli. Not to be outdone by the bagel team, the town of Newburgh created the world's largest cannoli in 2010. It weighed 123 pounds, requiring a custom shell and an industrial amount of ricotta filling. While the record was eventually broken by a bakery in NYC, for a brief moment, the Hudson Valley was the heavyweight champion of Italian pastries. Number 29. The Ice Labyrinth. Buffalo, a city that knows something about winter, built the world's largest ice maze. Constructed from over 2,000 ice blocks, weighing 300 pounds each. The maze stretched nearly 152 feet long. It was an impressive architectural feat, provided you didn't mind getting lost in a frozen structure that would slowly melt by spring. Number 28. The Criminal Record Crisis. Over 2 million New Yorkers carry criminal records, creating a massive economic burden through reduced earning potential that reaches into the billions annually. The impact falls disproportionately on Black New Yorkers, who represent a far higher percentage of those with conviction records compared to their share of the overall population, creating a cascading cycle of poverty and limited opportunity. Number 27. The Ghost Station. Subway enthusiasts have long debated the existence of a 76th Street station in Queens. Urban legend says it was built as part of a canceled expansion of the A line and then sealed up. Some claim to have seen it, others say it's a myth. To this day, the MTA maintains it never existed, but the blueprints and rumors persist. Number 26. The Atomic Tunnels. Columbia University sits atop a vast network of underground steam tunnels. While they attract student explorers, their history is serious. Portions were reportedly used to transport radioactive materials during the Manhattan Project. It was the ultimate secret commute for physicists, building the atomic bomb right in the middle of Manhattan. Number 25. The Invisible Maritime Border. New York shares a border with Rhode Island, even though you can't drive between them. The boundary exists entirely in the water, running through the middle of Block Island Sound. Legally, the Empire State and the Ocean State are direct neighbors, separated only by salt water and angry boaters arguing over fishing rights. Number 24. The East Grand Canyon. Letchworth State Park is visually confusing because it doesn't look like it belongs in the Northeast. Known as the Grand Canyon of the East, it features a massive gorge with 600-foot vertical cliffs carved by the Genesee River. It offers the kind of dramatic, sheer drop geology you expect in Arizona, not an hour south of Rochester. Number 23, taller than Niagara. Niagara Falls gets all the press, but Tacanic Falls near Ithaca is actually taller. With a single vertical drop of 215 feet, it beats Niagara's Horseshoe Falls by 33 feet. It lacks the massive volume of water, but in terms of sheer vertical height, this quiet waterfall in the woods is the state's true champion. Number 22, the Self-Washing Pot. The village of Canajoharie gets its name from a geological oddity in the local creek, the pot that washes itself. It's a massive, perfectly round pothole carved into the bedrock by swirling stones during the glacial melt. It looks like a giant's bathtub, permanently scrubbing itself clean for thousands of years. Number 21, the Fire Waterfall. In Chestnut Ridge Park near Buffalo, you can find the Eternal Flame Falls. A natural gas leak seeps through the rock face directly behind a waterfall. When lit, it creates a small flame that burns perpetually inside the water. It's a rare geological glitch where fire and water coexist without canceling each other out. Number 20, the Triple Divide Hill. In Allegheny County, there is a seemingly ordinary hill that acts as a continental plumbing system. Known as the Triple Divide, rain falling here can end up in 3 vastly different oceans. Depending on where a drop lands, it flows to the Gulf of Mexico, the Chesapeake Bay, or the North Atlantic. It is the ultimate geographic fork in the road. Number 19, the Salt City. Deep beneath the farmland of Livingston County lies the Retzoff Mine, one of the largest salt mines on Earth. We are talking about an industrial subterranean city with miles of crystal roads carved hundreds of feet underground. While cows graze above, heavy machinery mines the ancient seabed below to salt America's icy winter roads. Number 18, the Gravity Glitch. In Middlesex, New York, physics appears to take a break on Spike Road. This is a gravity hill where the landscape creates a powerful optical illusion. If you put your car in neutral, it will appear to roll uphill against gravity. It's a brain-breaking trick of the horizon line, but it feels like genuine magic. Number 17, the Green Giant. We mentioned the Adirondack Park earlier, but the scale is hard to grasp. It covers 1/5 of New York State. This single park is larger than the entire state of Massachusetts. It was created in 1892, not for tourism, but to protect the state's water supply, making it one of the earliest and most successful conservation experiments in history. Number 16, the Clay Cathedrals. On the shores of Lake Ontario, Chimney Bluff State Park looks like an alien planet. Massive, razor-sharp spires of clay rise from the water's edge, eroded from ancient glacial drumlins. These fragile badlands are constantly crumbling into the lake, meaning the landscape you see today will literally be gone tomorrow. Number 15, the Silverware Commune. Oneida Limited is known for making polite dinnerware, but its origins are wild. It started as the Oneida Community in 1848, a religious perfectionist cult that practiced complex marriage, meaning every man was married to every woman. They funded their free love utopia by making animal traps and silverware, eventually becoming a corporate cutlery giant. Number 14, the American Shtetl. Curious Joel in Orange County is a demographic anomaly. It is a village comprised almost entirely of Satmar Hasidic Jews. Statistically, it has the highest poverty rate in the nation, yet zero crime and high social stability. With Yiddish as the main language and gender-segregated streets, it functions as a completely unique cultural enclave within the United States. Number 13, the Psychic Town. If you want to talk to the dead, go to Lily Dale. Founded in 1879 near Lake Erie, this gated town is the world's largest center for the spiritualist religion. Its population consists almost entirely of registered mediums. You literally cannot buy a house there unless you are a member of the church, keeping the community strictly for the clairvoyant. Number 12, the Mormon Hill. The Mormon religion didn't start in Utah. It started on a hill in Palmyra, New York. Joseph Smith claimed he found the golden plates buried in Hill Cumorah in 1823. Today, the site hosts a massive annual pageant, marking the spot where a global religion was launched from a quiet upstate farm field. 11. The Cardiff Giant Hoax. In 1869, a 10-foot petrified man was dug up in Cardiff, New York, creating a national sensation. Experts claimed it was proof of ancient giants. In reality, It was a gypsum statue carved in Chicago and buried by an atheist named George Hull, just to prank a local minister. It remains one of the greatest hoaxes in American history. Number 10, the Jiggly Museum. There's always room for Jell-O in Leroy, New York, because that's where it was invented in 1897. The town embraces its wobbly heritage with the official Jell-O Gallery Museum. You can walk down the Jell-O brick road and explore the history of America's most questionable dessert salad ingredient. Number 9, the oldest fair. State fairs are a dime a dozen, but the Steuben County Fair is the granddaddy of them all. Running continuously in Bath, New York since 1819, it is the oldest county fair in the United States. For over 2 centuries, they have been judging pigs and frying dough, outlasting wars, depressions, and pandemics. Number 8, Santa's Ride. The classic image of Santa Claus flying in a sleigh? That's technically a New York product. The design is based on the Albany Cutter, a specific style of sleek, lightweight sleigh manufactured by James Gould in Albany in the 1800s. Before that, Santa's transportation was open to interpretation. Albany gave him his signature ride. Number 7, the Spite Chip. Potato chips were invented in Saratoga Springs in 1853 out of pure pettiness. Chef George Crumb got annoyed with a customer, rumored to be Cornelius Vanderbilt, who kept sending his fried potatoes back for being too thick. Crumb sliced them paper thin and fried them to a crisp as a prank. The customer loved them, and the snack industry was born. Number 6, the concrete grain. Buffalo's waterfront is dominated by Silo City, the largest collection of grain elevators in the world. These massive concrete cylinders were so architecturally revolutionary that modernist legend Le Corbusier visited them and called them the first fruits of the New Age. They literally inspired the design of modern skyscrapers. Number 5, mail on the run. In Skinny Atlas, the mailman doesn't stop for you. You run for him. The Skinny Atlas Lake mailboat is one of the last in the US that delivers mail to shoreline docks while the boat is still moving. Residents have to run out and hook their mailbag as the boat passes, making postage a daily athletic event. Number 4, the other statue. Saratoga Springs has its own Statue of Liberty, sort of. The Spirit of Life statue in Congress Park was sculpted by Daniel Chester French using the same model, Audrey Munson, who posed for much of the statuary in NYC. Known as Miss Manhattan, her likeness is all over the city, but she is buried quietly upstate in Ogdensburg. Number 3, the secret subway. New York City isn't the only place with a subway. Rochester built one in the bed of the old Erie Canal, operating it from 1927 to 1956. Today, the abandoned tunnels still run beneath the city streets. It's a subterranean ghost town that has become a legendary spot for graffiti artists and urban explorers. Number 2, Arctic Summit. The top of Mount Marcy isn't just high, it's a different climate zone. The summit is home to a rare alpine tundra ecosystem. It is one of the few places south of Canada where you can find Arctic plants that survived the last ice age. Stepping onto the peak is ecologically identical to stepping into the Arctic Circle. Number 1, the tiny church. Finally, in Oneida, New York, sits the Cross Island Chapel, officially the smallest church in the world. Floating on a dock in a pond, it measures just 51 inches wide and 81 inches long. It seats exactly 2 people. If you want to get married there, the minister has to stand outside the doorway because there literally isn't room for Jesus and a third person. There you have it, 50 facts you probably didn't know about New York. If you learned something new, hit that like button and let us know in the comments which fact blew your mind. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the weirdest corners of the world and urban planning breakdowns.